and it's been great. I absolutely love it. I think it's the greatest job in the world. Actually, yep, I started out here. I was in the Coast Guard. I went to paramedic school while I was in the Coast Guard, and met a lot of firefighters, and I was looking to get out of the Coast Guard. I thought it'd be a great job, and I was right. And took a bunch of tests, which is typical. It's actually pretty hard to get on the fire department. There's a lot of competition, so most people end up taking a lot of tests to get on. I got lucky, I got on here. That was 17 years ago, and it's been great.
I've been with the Newport Fire Department for about 2 years now. I worked for the town of North Kingstown briefly before that, and I've been a volunteer in Jamestown for about 5. A lot of what we do is very hard, especially coming in, at the bottom. You have a lot to learn in a very short period of time. We're expected to know every street in the city within about 6 months, and on top of that, you also have to learn all the duties of a firefighter, EMS, firefighting. It's quite a lot of information to take in a short period of time.
Newport's a little different than most places because like now in the wintertime, the population's around 26,000. You stay pretty busy. We do, the calls are pretty routine, pretty steady. But during the summertime, the population explodes. It can be up around 160, 170,000 people in Newport at a time, and we get really busy. It was a recovery, actually. We had a couple of kids jumped off a 12 o'clock high, and they had picked a particularly rough day to jump into the water. Ended up losing one of the kids. I wasn't there for the initial rescue. I was there the next day. I was in the water. Actually, they lost the first kid the first day. We found him the next day. I was in the water for a couple hours trying to get him out. That was probably the hardest thing I've had to do on the fire department so far.
Stoner Lodge was what we would call a general alarm fire. That's or a 3-alarm, sort of an all hands on deck. All personnel are ordered back, and we also bring in mutual aid companies from all the surrounding communities, Middletown, Portsmouth, Jamestown. In the case of Stoner Lodge, even from as far away as North Kingstown and Tiverton. We basically had the entire East Bay in the city for that fire, and if you estimate, we had, I think, 4 engines pumping the entire time at least 1,500 gallons a minute each for 3-4 hours. The building was unoccupied because it was under construction,
Sure.
which also led to how the speed that the fire developed. There were no windows. All the interior partitions were just studs. So that coupled with the fact that it was wind driven, which is very dangerous regardless of the building type, that fire grew very rapidly.
Yeah.
I mean, these bonds are lifelong, and as close as you may be to your frat brothers, we're prepared to, lay down our lives essentially for one another, and that bond is like nothing else that you'll ever experience.